Hi, welcome to my video on what percent of a number. One of the three different types of percent calculations is number 3, what percent of a number. Do what we did before, let what be x, off bit of multiplication is the equal sign. Notice what is the x. So what we start off with is change the statement to an equation, divide each side by the number with the x, change the fraction to a percent. Let's do some examples. A, what percent of 80 is 8? What is x? Percent off is multiplication. 80 is the equal sign 8. So notice we divide both sides by 80. So 80 cancels 1 and 1. So we get x percent equals 88 over 80. So 8 over 80, 8 into 8 goes once, 8 into 80 goes 10. So 1/10 multiplied by 10 over 10, and I get 10 on the top, 100 on the bottom. 10 over 100 is 10%. Another way to do that would be to take 80 and divide it into 8. And let's see what you get. Decimals are there. We do not have to move the decimal point because it's already to the right in the divisor. So we move the decimal up. 8 into 80 can't go. Put on a 0. 80 into 80 is 1. 1 times 80 is 80. Subtract, get a 0. So you notice you have decimal 1, and decimal 1 is 10% because you move it to the right. Another way to do it would be to take your calculator and take 8 and divide by 80. So if you take 8 and divide it by 80, then you get decimal 1. But again, I like to do the division. I like to work it out manually. What percent of 25 is 3? What is x percent times 25 equals is 3. We divide both sides by 25. The 25's cancel. X percent, again, 1 times x is x. 1 divided into x is 1, so 1 over 1 is 1. So we got 3 over 25. We multiply it by 4 over 4. That gives us 12 over 100. And 12 over 100 is 12%. Because over 100, we divide by 100, we get 2 goes in the decimal place. Or when you move the decimal 2 places to the right when you divide by 2 places to the left when you divide by 100. And another way to do it is take the 25 and divide into 3, either with a calculator or manually. Decimals on the right of each, already to the right at the 5, so we just move it up to 0. 25 into 3 can't go. 25 into 30 goes once, so we get a 25. Subtract and we get a 5. So 0, bring it down. Remember, you can put as many zeros as you want on the right. But if you do, bring 0 down, 25 into 50 goes 2. And you get a 50, 0. So decimal 12 is 12%. Or you can use your calculator. Take 3 division 25 and you'll get decimal 12. Notice now I got the order changed. 60 is the equal sign. What is x percent times 40? So notice the number, it's reversed on the first two. X is on our left, now x is on our right. But it still makes no difference. We divide both sides by 40. We divide by the number that's with the x. Because when you divide by the number with the x, you get x by itself, or x percent. So 60 over 40 is, cancel the zeros, you divide by 10, you get 6 over 10. And 6 over 10 becomes 3 over 2 when you divide both numbers by 2. And 3 over 2 is 1.5. And 1.5 as a percent is, move your decimal 2 places to the right, so you get 150%. Notice you're going from what percent of 40 to 60. That's increasing. So therefore you should know, you're going to get a a percent larger than 100, because 100% of 40 is 40. So 60 is more than that. So look at it. And if you want, you can work your division out by manually or by calculator. 60 divided by 40 with a calculator will give you 1.5. Let's continue. Now you have 3 problems that you can work out as a bit of practice and see if you get the right answer. Here we go. What x percent times 50 equals 20? And we divide by 50. Cancels 1, 1. So you get x percent equals 20 over 50 is multiplied by 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, gives you 40 over 100. And 40 over 100 is 40%. And you can take a calculator and divide 20 by 50, and you'll get 0.4, because 40 over 50 is 0.40, which is same thing. What percent of 120 is 14.4? What is x? Percent office times 120 is the equal sign 14.4. Divide both sides by 120. And when you do, the 120s cancel out and you get x percent equals. Now, you can do manually or calculator. This time I'm going to take the calculator. 14.4 divided by 120. So 14.4 division 120. And it's an easy way to do it. It's 0.12. So that's 0.12 as a decimal. And as a percent, it's 12%. Decimal 2%, you move the decimal 2 places to the right. Or you can divide it out. Your choice. Like 120 divided into 1.42. But the calculator's faster. 120, the decimal's on the right. Decimal's right there. Don't have to move it, so you move it up. 120 can't go into 14. Nope. 120 into 140 is once. You get 120. When you multiply back, you get a 4 and a 2. You bring down a 0. You, again, I'm reminded, put as many zeros you want. Bring down the 0. So 120 into 240 is 2. So that's 0.42. Subtract, you get a 0. So you get decimal 12, which is 12%. Your choice. Or you can do the calculator. We already did the calculator. So you got a few options. Number 3, what percent of 18 is 0.99? X is what? Percent times 18 equals 0.99. Divide both sides by 18. They cancel out. You get x percent. Now, let's use a calculator just to make sure again. Decimal 99 divided by 18. Let's see what we get. Clear that. Decimal 99 division 18. And I get 0.055. So that's 0.055. And that amounts to 5.5%. So the calculator works it out. But again, try your long division and see if you can work it out. Always good to do the long division with a pencil. Keep your mind sharp. What about some word problems on this type? Well, a person plans to run 30 kilometers. If 21 kilometers was completed, what percent did the person complete? So most people would say, well, most people would do this. 21 is completed out of 30. So 21 out of 30 is, you can divide by 3 and get 7 and 10. And 7 out of 10 is 0.7. And that's 70%. That's one way. That's the fast way. 20 out of 30. Change it to a decimal or a fraction and then change it to percent. Or you can say, well, what percent of 30 is 21? You can write it out that way. But again, most people would do it how I did on the left. Divide both sides by 30 and they cancel. 30s cancel. X percent. Notice I got 21 over 30. What do I have? 21 over 30. So we didn't have to write out this equation. And that's, again, with a calculator, that's 0.7, which is 70%. Second one, Henry scored 16 out of 40 in a basketball game. What percentage did he score? Again, notice, fast way, he did 16 out of 40. So 16 out of 40 is what percent? Divide by 4, I get 10. Divide by 4, I get 4. So 4/10 is 0.4 or 0.4, whatever you want. And 0.4 is 40%. So he scored 40%. So if we take 40% of 40, or another way, what percent of 40 is 16? And you divide by 40. Notice 16 over 40. 16 over 40, you did it fast. Divide by 40, X percent. And 16 over 40 becomes, with a calculator, reduce it down, 0.4. 0 you want, which is 40%. Practice. Work these out and see if you get the right answers, and then press play again. In a school survey, 500 students, 350 rode to school on bikes. What percent of the students rode on bikes? Well, you got, again, 350 off the 500. And if you reduce that down, if you want to reduce it all down, or you can take a calculator and divide 350 divided by 500. Clear that? 350 division 500. And you get 0.7. So with a calculator, that's 0.7, which is 70%, because you move your decimal 2 places, 2 places to the right. Or if you want to have a bit of fun, you divide by 10, zeros are gone. You divide by 5, and you get a 7. Divide by 5, and you get a 10. So 7 over 10 is 0.7, which is 70%. Or you can write it out. What percent of the total number of students, which is 500, is 350? And that means you divide by 500, and you get the 500s canceling out, X percent, and now you have the 350 divided by 500, which is going to work out to 70%. Number 2, at a training camp, there were 10 goalies. If the camp had 125 players, what percent were goalies? So we have 10 out of 125. Now 125 is, you divide by 5 and you get a 2. Divide by 5 and you get a 25. And 2 out of 25 multiplied by 4 over 4 gives you 8 out of 100. And 8 out of 100 is 8%. Any number over 100 is the percent. Or you can take the 10 and divide it by 125. Take the 10 and divide it by 125, and you get 0.08. And 0.08 is exactly what 8 over 100 is. 0.08. 0.08 is 8%, because you moved the decimal 2 places to the right. Or you can say we have what percent of the 125 players is the 10 goalies. And we divide by 125. They cancel, they give you 1, so you get X percent. And again, 10 divided by 125, either manually or with your calculator, is 0.08, which is 8%. And just for a bit of fun, 125 divided into 8. Let's do it with a pencil. Decimals on the right, decimals on the right. If the decimal in the divisor is on the right, you only got to move it up as in your dividend. So 125 into 8 can't go. 0. 125 into 80 can't go. Another 0. 125 into 8 gives me, oh, sorry, I wonder why I made a mistake. It as a 10 there, and I didn't put a 10. So it won't go. So 125 into 10 can't go. 125 into 100 can't go. 125 into 1,000 is 8 times. So you get 0, 0, 10. So you get decimal 08 if you do it manually. Again, the calculator means what? You're not going to make a mistake, and you get the answer, and you don't have to do. But I love to do long division. Keep my mind sharp, keep my pencil working. That's the end of this video, and if you like it, click on like, subscribe, notification, and you want to write a comment. And don't forget to visit my math website, mathfullyexplained.com, if you haven't already done so. There you'll see the section on me, my degrees, and teaching experience. You'll see a section on videos telling you about the teaching strategies you're going to use to help you make the math, learn the math easier, more memorable. And a section on content of the topics we're going to have on my YouTube channel. You have the topics, the number of videos. The topics completed are in black font. The topics that I'm going to do in the future are in red font. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.